Today's good news comes from Donna Brown. Donna.
But Diana's good too.
You like Diana? Okay, we'll go with Donna though. Sorry.
That's all right. Like I said, no one knows me at this church. And that's just kind of a little anecdote for when I went the first time to sign the cards at the bank, and I had to come separately because I worked, and so all the other officers were there, and no one knew my last name, my birthday, where I lived, where I worked. So the bank person was kind of laughing about that. It's like no one knew me. So I try to hide, get out of things if you can hide. Okay, let's begin today with prayer. The prayer I chose was one that St. Bridget wrote in 646. The mic. Can you hear me? I talk so low anyway. Okay, the prayer I chose today is the one that St. Bridget wrote in 646. She actually taught St. Patrick, and she was responsible for starting the monasteries and convents in Ireland back then. So they had to have a lot of faith during that time. Okay, let's bow our heads. God, our source, I rise today through a mighty strength, God's power to guide me, God's might to uphold me, God's eyes to watch over me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to give me speech, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to settle and shelter me, God's host to secure me, and so it is. Okay, my talk today is on faith, which is extremely important in all of our lives, especially in days like today. In the Bible, in Hebrews, we have the verse that faith is seen as the conviction of things not seen. But what is faith? Is it an emotion? Can you hear me okay? Is it an emotion? Is it just a knowing? Is it a feeling? Is it an absolute truth? Each of us have an answer to what faith is to us. And we are asked often, what faith are we? Are we Methodist, Catholic, Jewish? That might be our answer, our unity. So faith has come to mean what religion you belong to as well, which has little to do with faith sometimes. So what we should ask is, how much faith do we have, and what is our faith in? And what is our faith? I believe the major problem with the state of our world today is due to a lack of faith and the symptoms of that. Some of these symptoms are feeling unsafe, a sense of lack, not feeling good enough, abandonment issues, lack of self-confidence, no true boundaries, a feeling of nowhere to turn for support. Until you have trust or faith, you have only emptiness and fear. How do you measure up to those symptoms? Would faith stop the mass shootings? Would it make a difference in the shooter, especially the younger ones, if they were grounded with an inner faith and a belief that strength from God would handle all their obstacles and take care of their lives? A lack of faith in our government has led to violence, fear, anger, and some very good people are acting in some horrific ways. If we only pay attention, do what's right, and hold steady faith that what is unfolding is the best for our own life, can we begin to change? Can we change the world? Can we change our government? Can we change our lives around us? Could this faith calm our whole nation? Even closer to our own lives, we have lost faith in our spouses, other family members, jobs, a lot of churches and religions, medical care, educational systems, the guy working on our car. We go in for repairs. Sometimes we're not quite sure. There's a nagging feeling that we can't put faith in this person to fix our car. So it's everywhere. And it's easy to have our faith erode from all these little things, the things that go almost unnoticed. The media sells fear. If you watch TV for 5 minutes, you're told you're going to die if you don't take the purple pill. You know, this politician hates the other one, and that one, you know, the one that he's condemning is not right, and he's not telling you the truth. You're told that you have a lack, that you've got to have this car, or you know, you've got to have this house, or if you haven't bought this for your child, then something's wrong with you. Or you didn't go to this college. It's just constant. So it's kind of good to take a break from the media if you want to hold your faith for a while. Okay, we work and have contact with people so negative that you want to run home and shower afterwards. You know, some of you have been around those people. And we are tired and drained. And it's this faith, I think, that this lack of faith in the world that's helping to drain us, to make us so exhausted, because you're trying to fight all these outer conflicts that we shouldn't be fighting. Okay, now to the good points about faith. Faith is power, and it's one of our 12 powers. It is internal soul-binding strength that gives you authority over all the madness. This unconditional faith is the basis of sainthood. But we can have it too. You don't have to be a saint, you don't have to be a minister, you don't have to be, you know, a nun or a godly person. Just an individual person with no education, no job, no money can have the faith that can move mountains. And usually they have more faith because they have less to deal with. Faith is the power to accept the nature of life and accept change. Because one true principle we know is that things will change. It will change in the minute. It will change often. It will change when you least expect it. That's the way our lives are. My grandmother, when I was little, was such a woman of faith, and I was so very thankful to have an aunt that should have gotten sainthood, and an uncle who was a Baptist minister, and then my grandparents that were just so rock solid in faith. And being a child and being a precocious child that questioned everything, sometimes they call me Thomas for a good reason. You know, I'd be there at my granny's and I'd be upset about school, or I didn't like this teacher was doing, or I didn't think somebody was doing something right, or my friend didn't play right, you know, just little trivial children things. And she'd just look at me and say, "It is as it should be," and then walk off and make me so mad. Because I would go over and over and over all these wrongs and find an answer right then. That wasn't the way she worked and the way her faith worked. So how do we keep this faith? One is through faith-building prayer. And that's prayer where we don't pray for things we want, or we pray for an agenda. Most times when we go to prayer, we're asking for something specific. And that's not really what we should do. We should pray with the faith and understanding that God knows what we need, knows better what we need than we do, and that He has already got the problem solved for us. And probably in a way we never thought possible, that was 100 times better. So I'm sure some of us have already had those experiences. Even a hurricane has a calm center. So you have to have a calm center to face these issues. Without the eye of the storm, and I don't know the scientific reason, but without the eye in the center of the hurricane, it can't have any power. It'll just be a tropical storm if that eye doesn't form, because that calm center is what gives the strength on the outer core. Some way the energy flows. So we're just like that. We've got to have that calm center, and then whatever rages around us doesn't matter. But we have power. We're getting power enough to control what's raging around us, or to not let it hurt us, to at least control it to the point that it doesn't get inside us and eat away at us. Another way to gain in faith is surround yourself with faith-filled people. You know, that's why I like coming to Unity. There are some people in here that really show me a way of faith, and have since I've been here. And so it's wonderful to come in, sometimes just sit in the presence of someone that you know is dealing with a lot, but they're showing you faith can mean everything to you. It's like you just kind of absorb their little energy and take it home with you for your issues. So surrounding yourself with people of faith, and it can be the guys you play pool with or the women you take art classes with. It doesn't have to be in a church. I have a couple of writers groups I belong to, and one of them in particular, I leave there like I've been to church, because those people have faith. We don't talk about religion, we don't usually talk about God, but I know they're grounded in faith, and it's a positive outcome when I go there. So you can find it in several places. Read about the lives of saints. Myrtle Fillmore, to me, if we were Catholic, she'd be a saint. If you want to read about faith, read about the Fillmores and the foundation for Unity churches. We've got all kind of books in the library, faith. There's also some Buddhist leaders, and Buddha himself, and then some of the other Buddhist teachers that show profound faith and the ways to faith. And of course the Catholic saints, St. Teresa of Avila and several others, even St. Bridget, show us a way of faith and that deep unconditional understanding of what faith can do and the power it can give you. So what are you afraid of? If a lack of faith shows that you have fear, you need to think for yourself, what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of losing your relationships? Are you afraid of losing your material belongings? Are you afraid of your financial outcomes? Are you afraid you're not going to measure up at work and lose your job? Are you afraid that you won't have any friends to call? What are you afraid of? You need to do some deep thinking. And then once you get to the point of what you're afraid of, then you should dwell in faith to get that to leave you. Because when everything's stripped away, you come back to faith in God or faith in the source. And that's all we really have. All this other's a dream or an illusion or some messes we have created and some good things we create. So you need to strip away the fear, think about them, and what you're hearing and what you're reading and what you're thinking, and strip away those thoughts of fear. Okay, now let's settle into a place of comfort. We're going to go ahead and go into meditation. And with this meditation, I'm going to help you get to a level of faith by reading some affirmations or some statements from other faith-led people. And I want you to think about them. I want you to take them into your brain. I want you to pull them into your heart and think about what the words are actually saying. We stand up here and we do our affirmations. You may do affirmations at home. You may meditate, but sometimes you're not really listening to what the words are saying. So we need to focus and use mindfulness to absorb what this actually is, what these people or what the grace of God has said to us in different ways. So let's take some deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Bring yourself to feel warmth and the light of grace surrounding you in this room. We have the light of grace to protect us and the Word of God to inform us. Continue to take deep breaths. Feel your body supported by your chair, but also feel its weightlessness. All the burdens are gone for a few minutes. We've given them to grace. We're going to relax, and we're going to take in our hearts the words that this grace has given us. I am led by the Spirit of God, our source. Every day He guides me. Let me hear your loving kindness in the morning, for I trust in you. Teach me the path I should walk to lift up my soul. God, my source, is with me. So I place all my affairs lovingly in the hands of God. God, my source, is my strength and my shield. My heart trusting in Him, I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices. God, my source, lead me and guide me, for you are my strength. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Continue to breathe deeply. Again, feel the warmth and the golden light as it circles the room and makes our place, our church house here, a sanctuary, a place of peace, a place of love. Feel the love from the other souls within this room. Feel their warmth. Absorb their peace and let any negativity rise to the ceiling and go out into the universe to be destroyed. God, my source, lead me and guide me, for you are my strength. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Think of something that has been controlling your fear, has been robbing you of faith, and commit that into the hands of grace to be delivered to God. And commit your spirit to peace and faith.